But we're going to be moving on from the Retapo stuff finally. There's a few final touches that I'm just going to go over. We got UVs to double check and a few other like prep things, and then we're going to start getting ready for textures. So that's what today's going to be about. I'm going to be jumping around between a few different programs. But yeah, we are going to get moving. We do one thing that's been bugging me with this mesh is that the eyes need to be properly set. I also need to cut the sphere for the eye in half. So we're going to do that really quick. I mean, it looks like it's set on there. Why in the high poly the eye doesn't poke out the socket? I just need to probably align the eyes. Check the high poly. Hey Sharky, how's it going? Might be the reason why it's like set kind of low on there. This as the I use that as the low, and then go to this is probably the hardest part of all this stuff is keeping track of all the files that I'm shooting out. All this stuff. We're just gonna overwrite these eyes. We can always get those back. OBJ. So these they get overridden. Or maybe these are the ones. There we go. Music's a little loud. Okay. Let me know how that is. Is that better? Sharky, I'm moving on from Retopo's done. I'm going to be moving on to all the prep I have to do to get this ready for textures. So that's what we're doing. Okay, good. Good. I have no idea why the music does that stuff. Like I don't touch the volume at all. So who knows? But thank you for letting me know. We're gonna delete. Delete these faces. Make sure this is smooth. These eyes are bad. They need to go away. These need to get renamed. Nice man. Hey, good to see you again. Hi. Nugget, how's it going? Hey man, has been a while. How's everything coming along? I hope you're doing well. It's going well. We're moving to a new stage in the Peru development today. I'm finally done with all the the retopo stuff. So we're gonna just get into all of the texture prep today and see how far we get. I'm not sure exactly how long it'll take me, but at least we're getting ready to get textures on this guy, so we're moving forward. Almost to the last stage of the Peru development. It's the texturing stuff is the last part. Actually, I should make a list really quick of stuff that I want to get done today. I'm just going to pop up a notepad. Okay. I'll let you guys see this so you can see the planning. So we need to get the UVs. So UV. We need 2 of those, so UV1, UV0. After that, I would like to. We can test the armature. And just like mess around with some poses to check how the mesh deforms. See if there's any issues. I don't anticipate there being any, but we'll just double check. And then I need to project, export low poly to ZBrush. And then I need to reproject onto high because I really don't like the way Blender projects stuff onto models. I'd rather do it in ZBrush. And I can make any tweaks there that I need to. I can also probably get maybe like a quick, we'll try and get a quick normal map. What else? What else do I need to do? If we get through all of this, then I'm going to actually start concepts for some skins. Either in Photoshop or Clip Studio Paint. We'll see how that goes. Am I missing anything? I don't think I'm missing anything. That's what we'll try to do. Put this over to the side. Okay. So let's take a look at these UVs. I do need a UV for the eye. So the eyes are going to just be flat on their own texture. So this is really simple. I just do that. Okay, that's it. And it's going to be mirrored because they're going to be the exact same texture on both sides. So I don't need to worry about those too much. Now we got to check out the body. So I have one channel here. I'm going to open my cheat sheet. I made a cheat sheet for myself so I can remember all these settings and stuff. Give me 1 second. I kind of do this for every project because honestly, every project is different. Everyone that I've worked for has different ways of exporting and requirements of exporting, and it's just hard to keep track of. It's already a complicated process anyway. So I'd rather just make my life easier. Okay, so UV0 is the mirrored UV. So this UV, I have these UVs laid out already. They might need some work. We'll check them out. These are just like a quick unwrap that I did as we were working. If you remember, I was making UV seams, so this is what I got from that. So that's UV0. Let me check. So what I'm checking for is any distortion. So all of this should be mostly bluish. There can be a little bit of this green, but if it's too much, then I need to separate those islands into their own UV. So honestly, I think these might be an issue. It's because they're conical. Usually stuff that's like a tube or conical, you will get a lot of stretching issues on if you try to lay them out flat. So we need to make a cut probably somewhere here. So let's see what we do here. What should I do? I could cut them all off. Kind of treat them like I would teeth. I would like to, if possible, I would have liked to keep them as a like a single chunk. But that might not be doable. Nice man. Do you already know which model you will do next? I think Islander said Irritator, Enigmasaurus, Dracovinator, and Pachycephalosaurus are the next to come in the game. Any of those are probably a possibility. I don't know exactly which one, but it's probably one of those guys. Yeah, I don't know. If I have a choice, it would be fun to do Irritator. I think he would be fun. I haven't sculpted an Irritator before. I've done Baryonyx and a Spino, but not an Irritator. That would be cool. Let's just go for this because I don't want to dilly dally too much. We're just gonna cut these off, these ones that are like the most drastic here. And then I'm gonna treat them kind of like I would UV like a tooth, because they're a similar shape. These are more elongated, but they're basically cones. So you would UV them like you do a UV seam at the bottom, and then you kind of unzip one of the sides, and they generally lay flat pretty well. I could maybe chain them together. I don't know. I don't want to leave a ton of obvious seams. I don't think they will be very obvious once we texture them, but I don't know. You never know. Oh, what's that? What is this? We're gonna mark these. What is going on here? It's a good thing we came back through this. That is not supposed to be happening. Why did that happen? I must have cut something while I was doing some other stuff. Get rid of this, please. This one. There we go. Cool. Go up the center here. Sharky, is that a irritator joke? I hope he's not irritating. Honestly, compared to the Purussaurus, lots of the other dinosaurs are going to be really simple, I think. Because I don't have to deal with all of these things right here, these scoots. This has honestly been the biggest challenge, you know. Use all of these, making sure they're integrated into the mesh. Should I do that or should I go lower? Oh, that's bad too. This seam doesn't continue. So we got to do that. We got to make sure that's okay. And then I think I'll just continue this around. um, yeah, I think I'm gonna, if we do Irritator next, I think I'll enjoy that guy a lot. I think Irritator of the Spinosaurus, like the Spinosaurids, there's, I just really like the way it looks. I'd say it's probably my favorite Spinosaurid. Um, I don't know. I haven't kept up on like any of the new developments with it, if there have been any. I don't know exactly how much material we have of it, so that might be a challenge. um, but otherwise, I think it's going to be pretty fun. Get to learn more about a cool Spinosaurid. Have a bit easier time of the sculpting and modeling process because there's not as much going on as a crocodile. Yeah, it should be cool. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to see if this works for the UVs. So we're going to unwrap again. So I got a few new islands here. This is cool. That's really good. Why did that happen? Because there's this little flap here that is now running wild. I don't know if that really even resolved some of this. The stretching there still seems pretty... I could go up one more. If it keeps doing it, I might just have to cut it in half. Let's see. I think it's because of this bend. It might be that. If it does it again, I'm just gonna cut it in half. 'Cause ain't nobody got time. That's better. A little bit. These ones are better. Which ones are you? What is this? You. Yeah, I'm cutting it in half. I'm done. I'm done dealing with it. I'll make it into two, like, half, instead of making like a bunch of little triangular islands, I'm gonna make it like, I'm gonna get rid of a seam down here, and then we'll have this whole section like cut in half on the sheet. Alt click doesn't work in ZV. I have my blender set up for use with a tablet, and it won't do that. And not to mention, like, I mean, I could double click it and get all of this, but it's going to select the whole edge all the way up to here. So I'm going to have to unselect all that anyway. Like, I don't mind doing this type of stuff. I like being precise. I like picking the things I want to pick. Doesn't really bother me. like I'm alt clicking right now, holding alt, clicking on an edge, doesn't work. It's because it's set up for my Wacom tablet. I don't know why it disables that, but that's the way it is. Illuminati. Hi, how's it going? So hyped, so cool game, such a cool game. I hope you and the rest of the team had a good day so far. Thank you. So far so good. Day's just starting really. Yeah, this is the Puru. You got it. Let's see what happens if I do this. That's better. I kind of don't like that they're all like little pieces like that, but what is this is a mess now. That's because these are attached here. That's better. What are you? Yeah, it's 9:32 in the morning for me. Okay. So I ended up having to do, I had to slice them up more than I kind of wanted to, but I think that resolves most of the issues. This, I don't like the way that that's connected there. It's kind of awkward. So I'm just going to cut it all the way off. Where is that line? There it is. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just cut it. Okay. Okay, so now what I like to do, I'm going to do this UV, and then I'm going to export this. I realize I got my order of operations a little mixed up. Before I do the second UV, I should just reproject this. Because if I ZBrush doesn't recognize like a mesh with more than one UV set. So if I try to do that, it's not even gonna work. And I'd have to either copy the UVs from this mesh onto the other one, or I'm gonna lose a UV. I don't really want to mess with that stuff. One thing I am going to do just to double check. Why do you have two? Oh, because that's the highlight material. I'm gonna turn this into a skin or turn that into a UV checker material. Where is it? There. There. Textures. Okay. So one thing I want to do, not the whole thing, is I'm just going to arrange these so that they make a little bit more sense to me, to my brain. I don't really like the way that Blender has arranged them here. I like to give a little bit of logic to how they're set up So I take it upon myself to rearrange stuff and make it just a little bit more organized. No, I can't do that. I can't have to do this. This, to me, this is kind of important because if you ever wanted to use a tileable texture and you didn't have the option of using like a triplanar projection on it, triplanar projection, you can think of like almost like averaging a tileable texture so that way you can't see the repetition. Most of the time you can use it, so it doesn't really matter. But sometimes there are rare instances where you can't use triplanar projection and you just have to use the repeating tile texture as is. And in those instances, if your tiles are like oriented in like a weird way, like for example, take for example the head here and the neck. So right now, if you look at it, the head is here, the neck is here, but the head is oriented like the top of the head is facing up, the bottom of the head is facing down. This is reversed. So the top is facing down, the bottom is facing up. So if you look at the texture, look at the numbers and the letters. This is oriented correctly. This is upside down. And it's also like offset. Kind of weird. So if you had to use a tileable texture without any adjustments, you're gonna see that seam. It's gonna look weird. So what I like to do is I try to make things, you don't have to necessarily like put them next to each other like I'm doing right here, but I like to make them like, it's more about the orientation than the actual like making them stitch together perfectly. I want to just make sure that they're facing the right way. If they're all facing left, if one island's facing left and is up and oriented up and down, then I want to make sure all of the islands are facing that way and oriented up and down. It's just about consistency. So I'm going to do that really quick. And then we will probably do an export to ZBrush. And then all these like little jumbly bits, see all this stuff in here? I just like to organize those in some sort of logical way. Because just having them like randomly scattered on the sheet kind of irritates me. It triggers the OCD. This is the bottom of the foot, so that kind of doesn't really matter. This is the base of the tail. Slide that over. These guys I'm gonna take off here. Probably gonna end up around here someplace. Okay, this is also why I hate dealing with little pieces like this, because sometimes you don't catch a little chunk and it'll overlap another UV and then it'll be a pain later. Okay. This piece. This piece will go over here someplace. So there's a little bit of logic, you know. Head, neck, body, arms next, tail last. This guy is over here next to the feet and the arm. And then all these little things. Let's see what we do with these. I want to make sure they point up. These are the insides. This is outside. Inside. It's also like, I don't know, if you ever present this stuff to like a client, or if you have it on your portfolio site or something, I'd rather have it not look like a mess, you know? There is a little bit of an art to the UV unwrapping. Yeah. But majority of it is just, I want it to make sense to me. When I look at the sheet, I want to know what each island is, and I don't want to have to do a lot of like puzzle solving, you know? I did that quick UV unwrap, you know, and I was like, oh, majority of it's done. I'm not going to have a ton to do on stream. So I was like, we're not going to get a ton of like UV unwrapping on here. But turns out we still are. I think it's pretty important, at least to me, for this series. Maybe just the Purussaurus. Like I don't think I'm going to be as strict when it comes to other species that we do for the game. Like the Purussaurus has been strictly a YouTube stream model, you know. I don't work on the Purussaurus if I'm not on stream. Until, you know, recently. So it's been I feel like it's pretty important to at least have one, just so people like can see the full progress of what it takes to make a model like this from beginning to end. So I'm glad we get some of this UV stuff in here. So these are all of the inside parts, I believe. Yeah. So I'm just wiggling I can see it. You can see them moving on the UV sheet on the model here when I move it around. So those are all the inside little areas. And these are all of the outsides. If I were really crazy, I would probably organize them from biggest to smallest or smallest to biggest, maybe. Or maybe just in order. I might actually do that. As quick as I can. This is going to be easier if I do this. Okay, these are organized. I'm just going to slide them over really quick. Probably stack these up a little bit. This one was right here. Get these bigger ones lower. I might be able to squeeze out a little bit extra resolution in here too. Like, if I can pack these close, I can scale them up just slightly. And then I could get a little bit more use out of the total area of the sheet. And that'll get me just a tiny bit more resolution on each part. There are like apps or like plugins and stuff that you can get that'll make like packing. It'll pack the islands really tightly. I haven't tried many of those. I think they're more useful for hard surface stuff, because it kind of hard surface stuff is just very straight and like it's all boxy. I think it's less useful for organic because there's a lot of curves and like undulating shapes. The other thing is a lot of those I don't know if they have like a ton of control. Like you can specify like, I want you to pack them this tight, like within like certain parameters of each other, but I don't think you can dictate where the islands go. And I like to be able to place things specifically where I want them. Hey Sharky, welcome back. I hope you had a good meal. I mean, that's where you were getting food, right? So yeah, I don't know. I might look back into those. They might be beneficial. Maybe we'll try that out on a later model. Excuse me. Okay, so we got that little chunk organized. These are the top scoots right here. And then the interior ones. They should be the same shapes, just reversed essentially. Yeah. So I'll just stack these on top of each other and then we should be good. I'll double check. This is 5. I'll double check to see if there's any overlapping UVs. I really want to make sure that's not an issue. But as long as that's good, then we can move on to the next thing. Once you have all your UVs like unwrapped and they're like the islands are like nice and flat and you don't really have any issues with stretching and stuff. It's just about organizing, and that's really it. Once you get them all settled where you want them, you don't really have to touch them again. Purussaurus a day keeps the haters away. I wish that were the case. That's right. That's just... I'm missing one. This guy goes under here. Is this the one? That's the one. There we go. Black-tailed thief. I love Purussaurus. That's really cool. I'm glad that you're a fan of the species. Of like the big crocs, right? Because everybody talks about the same, kind of the same one. Sarco, Deinosuchus, and then Puru, I think, is like the third. I think Purussaurus might be my favorite. It just looks really cool. It kind of reminds the skull and just like the way it's proportioned. It kind of gives me Devil Joe vibes, and I love Devil Joe. So that's like my association with it, I suppose. Okay, so we got these organized finally. Sorry to make you guys go, witness my weird. This is like There's that game. There's a game where like it's all just about like unpacking stuff and like organizing stuff in boxes. I don't remember what it's called. But that reminded me a lot of UV unwrapping. I'm sure it's satisfying to some people. I think there's an aspect of it that's pretty satisfying, but I also understand that it's just moving around a bunch of geometry on a sheet. I can put that there. I can probably scale this up just a tiny bit. When you're scaling UVs, you want to be very careful, because each island is like they're proportional to one another, right? So if you scale up, like I've seen a lot of people, they're like, oh, I need more resolution on a certain part. Like maybe I need more resolution on the face. So they'll like scale the face up. And when you do that, you're kind of wrecking the continuity of the resolution on the mesh. So you have to be very careful when you do that. I generally don't do that. You can do it very subtly. Like if we really did want some more resolution on the face or something, we could scale up the face just slightly and kind of get away with it. But if you do it too much, you're definitely going to notice you'll notice some inconsistency in the UV in the resolution on the model. You have stuff that looks really sharp, and then stuff that looks really blurry on the same model. So I try not to do that. Is there a Discord where I can ask questions? Yeah, we have a Discord community for Echoes of Extinction. There should be a questions section. You might check the description of this stream, or maybe just search it up You should be able to find a link to the Discord. Okay, so I'm pretty good with that. I think I'm always second guessing this stage because if there's anything wrong here, it's gonna cause problems later. So let me do my due diligence and make sure everything's looking good. Okay. We'll save that. Turn off the eyes, teeth, top. I want to make absolutely sure that the center line of the model is actually on center. And that there's nothing that's going to unzip when I subdivide. So I just did a quick operation there. So I scaled along the center and made sure everything is exactly at 0. And just to double check again, I'm gonna slightly push these in so that way the mirror modifier will kind of click, because there's the mirror modifier has a clipping option, which makes the mesh like click like slot into place on itself here in the middle. It basically zips it up. So that's what I want. And I don't want this. I don't want that modifier on anymore. You can reapply one of those. So I kind of wish I didn't have to do this stage, but I have to do it anyway. So this is the low. We are going to export. We're going to go. Trying to be organized here. This is V3. I want my selection only. I want to apply. Where is it? Apply modifiers. Did you have a question you wanted to ask, Thief? I don't know. I don't know if I can help you with it, but I could try. So let's see if it yells at me. Let's see. I wonder why it said that. There must be some sort of NGON or something in here. I wonder if I can spot it. Or maybe there's a way to do it in Blender. Actually, I'm gonna try this out. I just looked up a way to do it. Let's see. Mhm. Select. Okay. So this should highlight any issue. So it's highlighting anything that's triangles right now. But if it's more than, I wonder if it's highlighting anything that is more than a triangle. This is the problem. That's the problem. These guys here. Yeah. Okay. I see it. So there's some there on the foot. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. So I remember. There's some here that I forgot to deal with. And then these guys here. We gotta fix. That's a pretty cool feature. I like that. So I fix these really quick. Whoa, that's a triangle. These are all triangles. Should be okay. This one here. Okay. Let's get rid of these really quick. As quick as we can, at least. Just be consistent with the way I was doing it before. That's 1, 2, 3. I think that's all of them here, I believe. We can double check later. There's this one here. Give me 1 second. This one. Yeah. These ones here. It shouldn't impact the UVs. You can add geo, like you can add cuts, add polys, as long as it's within the, like if I did an edit on the cut here on the red line, that would be a problem because it's modifying the borders. But as long as you're cutting stuff in the inside of that, it shouldn't make the UVs angry. I think that's it for the foot. Let me see. We had one over here. Over here in front of this. I'm kind of going to do this. What's a good way to do this? Could go here. Make it. We could do it a clean way, or we could do it a very quick way. And I'm going to choose the quick way. Get rid of that. Actually, that might bug me. We could do this. Decisions. We'll just do that. We'll be fine. What else? There was a couple on the arm. These ones. That one. Two. I think that gets rid of those. There was one here. Okay. I think that's okay. There was one on the top here. Where were you? This one might be... Where the heck is it? Is it underneath? Oh, it's because... Oh no. I'm going to select it again and see if it got rid of it. Select by trait. Face by side. Let me see if I just... 5 if it highlights it. Okay, these ones. I was looking at the wrong spot. What is this? Why is that like this? I think I might have forgotten to merge maybe these ones. Oh, actually, okay. This is part of, there's an osteoderm right here. I think. Pretty sure. Yeah, these little ones. Oh, we need to take care of that. These ones look okay. This one's okay. These ones here, though, need more. Sorry, guys. I was trying to get a move on, but 1, 2. There's 4 here. This one and this one that need a little extra attention. So I'll try to get that done real quick. I was talking like I was done, and apparently I'm not. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to add a little bit extra resolution in this one. Just to grab that detail more. We're going to subdivide this probably one time. So it'll get even more detail. We should still be around our budget as well. But it'll give us some extra detail around here. So I'm not going to go crazy because I want to see what the subdiv looks like. Do this. Okay. Should give us some geo there to grab that little detail. Okay. I'm going to try it out again. Let's see if we have any other stragglers. Where the heck was it? Select by, have to be in edit mode. Select by trait, face, 5s. We got one more over here. Okay. Is that the only one? Please tell me that's the only one. Looks like it. Okay, one more. I'm going to go probably like this. I'm working on the wrong side. Go like this. Here. That should end it fairly cleanly. Go back, we'll select. Let's take a look. Oh no. Okay. What's happening here? Oh, it's just a mess of... I just gotta merge some stuff. I probably accidentally cut into this. And it looks like... Or they got crisscrossed somehow. What is going on? Okay. I don't know why. There we go. Resolve this. How is that looking? I think that... Okay. I always keep saying I think that's it, and then it's not it, so we'll just see. Okay, let me check my UVs really quick. Make sure everything looks good. It's not, there's no stretching. None of these new edits change the UVs. Don't see anything. Okay, we'll save that. Now I export this for real. Okay. Why? Okay. So we will import this one. Okay. Imported without a notification. That's a good sign. And now we can project. Make sure it doesn't split open when I subdivide though. This is a lesson I've learned. I've had to learn the hard way many times. Okay, that looks pretty good. Cool. So we'll do a quick project. And then we'll re-export this back into Blender. It's going to be a little bit of a back and forth. But yeah, I don't like the way Blender projects stuff. So gonna make sure I hide the eyes. I don't have the teeth showing, I don't think. Okay. Morph target, store morph target, just in case something gets screwed up, I can go back to that. And then we will project. Should be pretty quick, but if I don't know, this is usually pretty intensive for the computer to do. So if you hear, I don't know if it'll interrupt the stream or like make me stutter or anything. But if it does, that's probably why. So here we go. Okay, pretty quick. I'm gonna take this opportunity just to like sculpt a bit, make this stuff like conform as well as I can. I can make modifications here, so if I see something that's just not working out how it should be, I can add more geo. And again, as long as it's not affecting the UV edges, it should be able to make the adjustment without screwing up any of the UV stuff that I've done. The big deal to me is these. Like, I want these to get fairly close to the edges of these osteoderm. I mean, the scoots here. I think that works. There's a little mess here. These are always fun to deal with. I've done what are they called? These types of scoots on other sculpts before. Like I did it for Sarcosuchus that I did. And I did it for a dragon that I was working on for Creative Beast Studio. And these types of structures are always a bit of a pain. They overlap. They overlap each other in a weird way, and ZBrush projection just does not like to deal with them, or it'll project into itself, cause issues. So you always have to do this kind of thing. But it's okay. I've kind of learned to accept that this is what's going to happen. Polygroup this. isolate it and just kind of smooth it out. Okay. You can also a little bit of a way to work around this stuff is like you can isolate this beforehand and then project them individually. I don't know. It's tedious either way, I think. So you kind of just pick your poison. These ones are fine. Double check the little fingers. Make sure they're doing okay. Fingers, webbing, spikes that are close together, areas in the armpits, corners of the mouth, anything that's tightly packed, you have to check. Okay. Oh, we already subdivided it once. Okay. So, since I know that these are problems, these guys here, I'm going to hide every other one, basically. Tetsi, hi. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. I'm going to store another morph target. And then we'll project here. Actually, I'm going to save before I project because ZBrush likes to crash in processes like this. Projection, decimation, stuff like that makes ZBrush mad sometimes. And then we will project. Okay. So you see these areas again. But the cool thing is that I have a morph target. So if I scrub over this with the morph brush, it'll go back to where it was. So that's also a good way to like combat these issues if you're having them. It's just intersecting with itself a little bit, probably. Okay. Then you get like new stuff, like this wasn't happening before, this area. Or maybe it was and I just didn't catch it. But I don't think it was happening before. This stuff. Yeah, it wasn't happening before, or else it wouldn't be popping back in the morph target. So we just fix that real quick. I do like to hit it a little bit with smoothing, just to relax some of these areas that are like a little bit too bunched. This area right here. I'm just trying to see how it's reacting, like how it's picking up the details. Does it look if this is the low poly stage in the game, right? Does it represent the Purussaurus well enough to stand up, you know, while somebody is playing? And keep in mind that it's not gonna have this faceting. It's gonna be smooth, and you'll have all the textures on top of it. What I'm really interested in is all of these, like the silhouette. You know, is the silhouette maintained? Do I have enough detail in these points to keep the silhouette intact? I think it's working. I might actually delete these because they're causing more of a problem than they are helping. This area. Oh, it is pretty creased right there. Maybe project that part. So you can like spot check stuff. If there's a little tiny area, you can just mask it out and you can project just that small area. Okay. If you look at this, we're just under budget there. We're gonna get a few more polygons added because of the teeth and the eyes. But we're gonna be around 30k polys, which is that's where we want to be. Okay. I think I'm good with this. I'm wondering. I'm just kind of thinking to myself really quick about exactly what I want to do here. Because I could subdivide it. I could subdivide it in Blender, or I could just export the pre-subdivided one right here. Disadvantage to that is just that I won't have the super low version in Blender. It might be okay. I don't know. Let me see how this looks. Let's just, I think we're going to end up subdividing it anyway. So I'm going to export this one. We'll call this V4. UV should be fine. Should be fine. Because I didn't modify anything. But we'll see. Sometimes the UVs just like to break. Low, we want V4. Open. Take this off. Take this off. Teeth. We want to smooth it. Well, I need my list. Where's my list? There we go. And let's see what it looks like. Okay, cool. My UVs are still there. Here. Problem is that the UV seams are not visible on my mesh anymore, but I can get them back by doing this. And then we'll put the checker back on just to take a look. We do need to add a... It kind of doesn't matter, but... We need a seam down the middle. Because... we're going to do another UV layout in a second. And it's going to be asymmetrical. Actually, there's an easy way to do this, an easy way to fix this. Let me go back to my layout. It looks super crazy now. We'll just reestablish the mirror modifier on it, and then that'll take care of all this for us. Just gotta make sure that I'm not cutting anything away from the opposite side. But it'll be easier than selecting the edges all the way down the middle and then making another seam for it. So there we go. Put the mirror modifier back on. Clip. Okay. And we got one more UV sheet to do. So we are going to do, this is UV 0. So this is for the normal map, the roughness map, cavity, specular and ambient occlusion maps. But we need to make another one. Another one. And then just for like non-destructive purposes, I'm going to make a duplicate of that. So this is going to be asymmetrical. This map. The one. Make sure that we're viewing that one. So this is for the actual skin. So we can make asymmetrical details on the skin if we want to. So both sides don't share the same UV. They are, each side gets its own islands. I'm not going to be, I don't know. I'm wondering if I should organize this one as well. I don't use as much, I don't imagine that I'll be using, I didn't fuss over this one on the Eocarcharia or on the Uranosaurus, and it's been working out okay. I can modify the UVs later, and then, you know, if there is a problem, I can just adjust it and then re-import the mesh. This doesn't look terrible. I think we'll leave it like this. Yeah. We'll leave it like that. Should be fine. Make sure anything's not looking weird. The mesh looks much nicer now that it's subdivided. Nice and smooth. Okay. We can play, so I don't have a lot of time in the stream now, but we can play around with maybe some poses. Oh my God, why are you doing this to me? Well, that's a problem. Why did it shift? Maybe I probably knocked it around on accident. There we go. Take this off. This is probably going to be bad. I'm going to bring that 5. Try and get some quick play around with this rig real quick. Okay. You got it mirrored over. Yeah. Okay. They're just going to be quick automatic weights. Might not be the prettiest thing, but we'll see. Probably don't want to move that bone on its own. I think that pivot point's a little too far back. See if I can change it. Yeah, that's a little bit. It should be further forward, but we'll. That's the closure that we want. Something like this. I have the pivot point marked on the high res mesh. I should import that marker. But we'll do this really quick for now. Let's get a pose. It's trying to get him to look kind of dynamic. See how it looks. We'll give him a floor. That way I can kind of gauge the ground plane. Just for fun. And again, I'm not adjusting any weights or anything like this on the mesh, so the animators will have a much better result than I am. I can modify the weights a little bit, but this is just to get an idea. It's not anything super serious right now. Try and get him into like a threatening, like a striking pose, maybe. Actually, I should adjust the arms first before I rotate him. Be nicer if I set up an IK for him. I did not do that. Oh, and I'm missing his toes. I need to get all his toes in here. But for the sake of demonstration, pop his mouth open wider. Something like that. That's a pretty cool pose. Just really quick. Just to test how things move. I think it's working. The animators will have to really massage the weight painting around this area. But I think it'll work. This area is bending fairly nicely. The tail bends nicely. If it looks decent here with like my crappy weight painting, then it should look pretty good once people actually take their time to do it, you know. So I'm pretty confident in it. Sharky, yeah, Purussaurus is a giant caiman. Actually, do I wonder if he's scaled properly? Because I could put a little guy in here to show you how big he would be approximately. Let me see. Timeline. Where's the timeline? Pose. Put a keyframe there. And then, so when we want to go back to the pose, we can. Pose. We'll take it back to neutral. I just want to check and see if I actually scaled it properly. Probably not. We'll see. It all depends on how big this cube. Yeah, I think he's at the right scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11-ish meters. So this box here is 2 meters tall. So this would be a human size here, this box. Let me make this a little bit thinner. So a person would be there. And then we got this. Take it back to... So imagine yourself, right? Standing next to him. You are this tall. Pretty big. Pretty big. This is probably like the funnest part, you know. Once you get it like all set up and ready to go, and you can play around with the poses, stuff like this. It's really fun. Yeah, so okay, so this is all done pretty much. Next time I'll probably take some time to do some concepts, so I can show you guys how I would go about that process. I don't know if it'll take all stream. And then we will get into the baking. So bake out all the maps, get them ready for Substance Painter. Yeah, getting close to wrapping this guy up, everybody. Texturing is the last part, and then honestly, like at this point, this stage here, I can send this mesh off to the animators on the team, and they can start animating him. And maybe you'll see him moving around soon, which would be cool. And then I will probably do some nice renders of him here in Blender. So like for portfolio stuff, promo stuff, the team can use, could like show them off and stuff like that. Yeah, I can spend a lot of time just messing around with poses. It's really fun. And especially if you get, I'm going to save it really quick before I turn on the lights. If I add the lighting, he's got an ugly texture right now. Let's just do a good old gray scale shader. We'll just make him gray. And then we actually need a light. Then you find a cool camera angle for him. You know, comes together pretty quick. You guys can see that. I hope it's not chugging the stream. But yeah, we'll keep going on this guy. Should be okay to go next week, Saturday, same time. You guys want to come and hang out and watch me do some skins, ask questions, make suggestions. Totally down to have a chat, and maybe you guys have some cool skin ideas that I can incorporate. And yeah, we'll just keep going on this guy. Thanks everyone for being here today. Thank you for chatting with me, asking questions. Sharky, not confirmed yet. But if I'm able to make like a request, you know, then I think that would be cool. But not confirmed yet. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do next. Okay, guys. Thanks for coming out. I'll see you next week. Oh, and Wednesday stream is also a thing. So if you guys want to pop in and see what I'm doing on Wednesday, that's at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So see you guys sometime next week, I suppose. Thanks.